this Honda CB400N. So I started working on my new bike, rebuilding it to a cafe racer. So let me give you a preview of how it looks now. I partially mounted back all the parts. It has been demounted and now I just turn it back to its original state except of the front. Let me show you. So, new tires, scrambler type tires. I think they are cool. I demounted the fender, of course, and the headlights, and then you can see how it looks like stock. Let me take you around it. So you can see it's partially demounted, a lot of stuff on the rear end. Let me show you.
I have cut away the rear part of the frame that was holding the original seat. It was just too big and bulky for my taste. The plan is to add a 25mm steel frame hoop above the current frame. I'll show some drawings later on how I've planned it. The original air filter box, cables and all the electrical stuff are removed to prepare for the open frame cafe racer look. I've put on some cheap pod filters for now. I plan to replace these with better ones later. The center stand is also removed and the rear brake system will probably be replaced as well. The original exhaust is taken off. It was actually in quite good condition, so I'll try to reuse it if I manage to redesign it. I've already rebuilt the tank mounting bracket, preparing it to be used for mounting the front part of the cafe racer seat as well. And the tank is lowered a couple of centimeters, 1 inch approximately. I will no longer need this mounting hole for the side cover, so I'll cut away this part, making the tank look a bit cleaner. And probably a lot of other small stuff is gonna happen at the rear part, but let's move over to the front end. Most of the parts are already removed from the front. What's remaining is to cut off this holder for the ignition. I will just cut away this, and this will be where I put the new speedometer to make this cafe racer look out of this. You can also see that I have lowered the bike a bit, but the current handlebar is avoiding me to lower it anymore, so I'll probably have to replace it or maybe find some clip-on handlebars. Let's see how that goes. And here I have some of the parts removed from the bike. This is a front fender, it's not gonna be used. Here are some of the exhaust parts. I think I'm gonna reuse them. Here is the original front light, it's not gonna be reused. Probably not this either. This is like the protection over the... And this is the air filter box. and that is definitely not gonna be used. And this is the original dashboard, not gonna be used. So yeah, and the original mirrors. Probably gonna try to sell this, or it will just be thrown away. I have bought a lot of new stuff. I'll show that later on, like try to fit this small front fender if you manage to use it. And this will be it from the garage in this video. And now I want to show you some of my plans. When I start on this kind of project, I want to make a drawing first to visualize how I would like to modify the bike and how it could look like in the future. So the first thing I do is googling the bike, finding an image of it, and use that as a template for my drawings. My first modification is to lower the front. I use, by the way, Paint.net on my Windows 10 computer, and the way I solve it using this tool is to make an outline on the rear part of the bike, and then I can set a center point at any position, and then I use this rotation tool, and I can just use my mouse and flip it down to the position I would like to have it. And this is how it looks like with the front lowered. It's a bit nicer, isn't it? Then I remove the rear part stuff, the seating, the rear fender and the tail lights and stuff. And I also removed, like I've already done, the back part of the frame. And the plan for me is to put on this new frame hub on top of the existing one. So yeah, I have a mounting for my cafe racer seat, something like this. And it starts already to look like a real cafe racer just with this modification. But to make a real cafe racer, we need to modify the exhaust. Did you even see that change? I think it's really important. The exhaust should stop around where the seat is stopping. So this is the original one, and I just want to cut it at the rear end, and hopefully that will work. Then we have the front. The headlight will be smaller and moved a bit downwards. And of course I want to do something with the steering. I just added some bar end mirrors here, and of course the final touch, the wheels and the smaller front fender, and of course painting the rims for the wheel black. For me, this whole drawing project takes, I guess, about 1 hour. Please let me know, drop a comment below if you want me to make some tutorials on how to do it, like the basics functions you need to know in Paint.net to make something like this. I'm not sponsored or anything from Paint.net. It's a freeware anyway, so just download it and test it. I highly recommend it. Anyway, now comes the really fun part, and that is to compare the original image to the outcome to really see the big change. So okay, let's switch over to the original one. Yeah, it's not like the bike is ugly or something. It's nice. It's like the classic 80s design of these bikes. But anyway, look at it now. Wow, I really think this is a bit cooler. So let's take like the whole process once more.